All right, we're going to do slope review. I'm doing this in front of a live audience right now. My grade 3 class is, you can hear them, that's them. And so the topic today is slope and slope review that we did back in the fall. And so the first thing that we want to talk about is when we're dealing with this line. And we're dealing with lines on a coordinate plane. The form that we're going to use for this is called slope-intercept form. And the slope-intercept form, if you remember this from the fall, is y equals mx plus b. It's something that you will continue to remember and recall and use as you get into Algebra 2, maybe with me. Y equals mx plus b. And the things to remember would be that y and x would be the points on the line and give you that coordinate. And the m is the slope of the line, which will tell you how steep the line is. And then b is the y-intercept, which will tell you where it crosses the y-axis, where that line crosses the y-axis. So y equals mx plus b. Each of the 4 letters stands for something. And so, in your practice paper, you had a few of them. And number 25 was to put in and identify the slope and the intercept. Okay? And so for 25 you had y equals 5x, negative 5x plus 2. Okay, and we're going to use y equals negative 5x plus 2 to graph it as well next. So that's our slope and that's our y-intercept. That's what they're asking you in number 25. The directions say identify slope and y-intercept. That is your slope. That is your y-intercept. Okay? So that's the line that can be shown as a graph on the coordinate plane. And so how would that look on the coordinate plane? So there's a couple ways that we could do this. Here's one of the ways, just been given this. This is where it crosses the y-intercept. So there's a point, positive 2, plus 2. We put that point right on the y-axis because that's where it crosses the y-axis. Now, if this is a negative slope, which way is it going to go? Are we going to go uphill or downhill with a negative slope?
Down.
Downhill. So that slope is negative, so we're going to be going downhill. How can we graph this? Well, this is the slope. So the slope is equal to negative 5 over 1. We rise negative 5 and we run 1. So we start at our point, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We just went down negative 5 and we're going to go over positive 1. That's negative. This is positive. So that is our line. And that is one way that we can graph it. Some of you did this practice during the last class. If you didn't, we'll work on it today. This will be on your final exam. The ability to say y-intercept and slope with the rise and the run and be able to graph it. You'll have 2 of those on your final exam like this. Okay, so that takes us through number 25. Number 26 is y equals negative 2/3 x minus 6. This is our y-intercept. That's our b. There is our m. That's our slope, negative 2/3. Okay, and that's all you're doing. See, I'm such a good speaker that they're in the other room appreciating how good I am.
Yeah, Yukon Bill.
Yeah.
Yukon Bill will make a reappearance.
I hope so.
Yeah, probably next year. During winter when it's actually cool in here.
Okay, So, that's 25 and 26. Number 27 was to find the slope when given these 2 points. The 2 points are 3, 1, 2, 5. Okay, one thing you have to remember to be able to use. Guys and girls, I'm going to give you this on your final exam. I will give you, just like it says above this number 27, y minus y over x minus x. So how does that look? Some people like to do this. Take this point and move it underneath. And so how did you get from 1 to 5 plus 4? How did you get from 3 to 2? Negative 1. So 4 over negative 1, your slope is negative 4. And that's your answer to number 27. It's the change in y. How did you get from here to here, and then over the change in x from here to here? Keep track of your negatives. Yes?
Isn't it the same thing if you have negative 4 over 1? So it doesn't matter what the negative is.
So, Hunter was asking about, does it matter if it's negative 4 over 1? That still is negative 4. Now, if you wrote yours like this, and what if you went this way? Change in y from here to here. Actually, we will go this way. How'd you get? We'll go this way. From 5 to negative 1 is negative 4. From 2 to 3 is plus 1. That slope is still negative 4. So you have some leeway. You're not going to make a mistake. It doesn't matter which order you do it in for that. Okay? So that's how to find slope. That's how to find the slope. And so the answer to number 27 is negative 4. Now for for 28, your answer will be negative 5 thirds or 5 over negative 3 or negative 5 thirds. I don't care which of these orders, they all mean the same thing. Okay? You've got to keep track of your negatives on these because one of them might be minus a negative. Minus a negative. Okay, we're starting to wrap up our time here. We'll work on number 29. 29 is reversed from the ones we started with. So, if m equals negative 8 and b equals 2, what do the directions say? Write an equation with the following information. So if we know this is negative 8 and this is b, y equals negative 8x plus 2. And this will give you this line. You could graph it in the same way that we've graphed these. So, I am going to do one thing. I have 1 minute left. I'm going to show you one more way to graph, or one more type of problem. If the problem was y equals 3/2 x minus 4, and the directions say graph, you'll have a little coordinate plane. First thing you do, identify the y-intercept, negative 4. Right there. Is the slope positive or negative?
Positive.
It's positive, so it's going to go uphill. So we know we're going uphill, so it's going to kind of go this way somewhere. This is our rise. We go up 3, and then we run across 2. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we have our graph. Thank you very much, everybody. You guys are a good audience.